Good morning. Welcome to Thursday's early morning intuitive guidance. Again, had to think for a minute. What day of the week is it? This week has just been a zoo. So, all good stuff, much good stuff. But, yeah. So, welcome. We have we have a chapter today because we're in Tosha Silver again. So, let's just start with the breath as always. It looks like someone's here. Welcome. Oh, there we go. Janine, good morning. You're the first one on today. Welcome, welcome. Let's start with some breath. In through the nose. Out through the mouth. Let your shoulders drop. Good morning, Peggy. In through the nose. Out through the mouth. I can definitely feel the need to breathe deeply today. Good morning, Cheryl. Welcome. In through the nose. Out through the mouth. I feel the need to just shake off the hands today. Stuff getting stuck here. Let's just shake it all off. Greeting a new day. Good morning, Cindy. Waving back. Absolutely good. Everybody popping on. This is good. Our counter says 2, but I know we have 4. Whatever. It's that approximation thing, right? Kind of like the speed limit. Yeah. So, good morning, Courtney. Glad you are here. Welcome, welcome. We have a chapter from Outrageous Openness, Tosha Silver, Letting the Divine Take the Lead. And the basic gist of this chapter is talking about how to be present right here, right now, instead of, pursuing everything. Good morning, Beth. Welcome. Glad you're here. So for those of you who like to follow along in your own book, it is chapter 13 on page 157. The chapter, good morning, Carolyn. Welcome. Glad you're here. Thank you for the hearts and the rainbow. The chapter is entitled, Contestants Must Be Present to Win. Be present. Are you right here, right now? Or are you doing 12 other things that are dividing your attention and really not allowing you to enjoy any of them fully? Be here now for a couple of minutes. If you can just be present, this is good. Good morning, Tammy. Welcome. The title of the specific section we're reading right now is When Travel Isn't Enough. When travel isn't enough. And we have this cheeky little saying, she calls it a Jewish Zen saying, be here now, be somewhere else later. Is that so hard? So, let's see what she has to say. When I was growing up in Pennsylvania, I had a small framed photo in my bedroom of a woman's hand gripping a suitcase. The caption said, she was often seized with a desire to be somewhere else. Any of you ever had that? I know as a kid, I certainly had that. I wanted to be anywhere but where I was. This is boring. This is dull. There's nothing happening. I wish I could travel the world, blah, blah, blah. For years, I was consumed with a wanderlust that is perhaps endemic with 3 planets in Sagittarius. And the truth is, I'm never more at home than when I'm traveling. Good morning, Mel. Glad you're here. Welcome. I used to fantasize about exotic plane tickets and a passport filled with colorful visas the way some people long to have children or a Porsche. She wants to travel. Yet along the way, something happened. I noticed that often, good morning, Teresa, glad you're here. I noticed that often a trip I organized would be preemptively blocked. Once, a partner and I booked a 3-month journey to India, Bali, and Thailand that I'd constructed in my mind for years, like someone might obsessively craft a perfect house. Right before we bought the tickets, so many ludicrously intense obstructions arose that we could only laugh and cancel the trip. I once had a talented astrologer tell me that I'd spent countless incarnations roaming the earth like a vagabond. That's my daughter, roam the earth. But, she said, hey, you've already seen it all before. How many lifetimes can you keep running? What a great question to ask. How many lifetimes can you keep running? How many people do you know who are running away from the life they're in, seeking other kinds of adventures? Good morning, Abigail. Welcome. This time, she said, I was going inward, learning to surrender to life as it was, right where I was. Good morning, Linda. Learning to be still, to bless, and embrace it all without limitation, without escape. I knew she was right. So let me read that part again, because this is what we're being called to do at this point. Going inward, learning to surrender to life as it is, right where you are. Learning to be still, to bless and embrace it all, without limitation, without escape. So now she's got some more stories to tell us that kind of are relevant to this. I remember sitting in a sushi bar in the Mission. You never know who will bring you to a crossroads. While I ate my Mackie roll, a woman started to talk to a guy at another table visiting from Denmark. She began a loud travelogue. Oh yes, she said, we did northern Italy last fall. Oh, a must do, a must do. And before that, we bagged Belgium and Prague and Berlin and, oh, of course, Provence and Paris. Well, you know, darling, we always do Paris. Good morning, Gwen. She poked at the air with her chopstick for emphasis. I mean, how can you not? That's not even an option, is it? You might as well die. Wrinkling her nose at the very thought, she continued, and then Helsinki and Stockholm, well, they always impress, don't they? A good solid B+, I'd say. And oh my dear, the tapas in Barcelona. As the young Dane tried to politely listen, his eyes glazed over, and the woman went on, and on, and on. The longer I listened, the more tired I became. A kind of profound, bottomless, existential exhaustion. I felt I might drown right there in weeby sushi, face down in my miso soup from the sheer futility of it all. This woman's relentless chase of the world's mirages left me utterly, thoroughly spent. I mentally thanked her as I got up to leave. I paid my bill and stepped into the music of Valencia Street, giddy with nowhere to go and nothing to see. Some mariachi players carried their guitars into La Rondalla, laughing and joking in Spanish. 2 cute blonde boys sat in a cafe holding hands, drinking espresso. A woman with spiky purple hair walked by in a red halter on her way to yoga, her mat in one arm, miniature poodle in the other. Her whole back was tattooed with the jagged edge open wings of a great blue heron, ready to fly. So, I want to go back to that part and read it again. This time, she said, go inward. Learn to surrender to life as it is, right where you are. Learning to be still, to bless and embrace it all, without limitation, without escape. So, how cool is that to think about wherever you are? It's right where you're meant to be. You're right exactly where you're meant to be. Yes, you may still have the wanderlust. Doesn't mean you aren't going to travel, but it does mean that where you are right now, there's stuff for you there. What are you meant to learn there? What are you meant to experience there? What are you meant to appreciate, value, give gratitude for? Right here, right now. Right here, right now. So what comes to mind? The world's mirages. I love that. We are surrounded by so many mirages. Yes, 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 yes. Social media is a mirage. Do you really, truly think that the things that you see that people post is the reality of their life? Is the reality of their life? No, there's all kinds of stuff going on. Let's just look at MySpace. What do you see? You see this little wedge, right? You have no idea what's going on over here or out the window. There's all the stuff that isn't visible, and not just visible to your physical eyes, but visible to your psychic eyes, right? Thank you, Cindy, for posting that. I appreciate it. But think about that. How often do we say, oh, I wish I had her life? And what you're doing is you're comparing the visible part of her life to all of your life. You have no idea really what's going on in her life. Just the surface looks good, right? And how many people, like I think especially TikTok, Instagram, etc., Facebook too. Good morning, Bobby. It's the presentation of what people want you to see. And some people are more real than other people. But we assume that what we're seeing there is an accurate representation of their lives. No, 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 no. So, step back into your own life. In this moment, right now, I want you to look around. I want you to smell your coffee. Yes. It's comparing what we can see. Because, okay, I'll give you one that pissed me off. And he said this more than once to me and to my sister Vicky. Our brother has often said, well, you guys have had it so easy. He hasn't walked in our shoes at all. He doesn't know us at all. But the assumption from the surface, he assumes it's been easy. I just thought that was fascinating. Absolutely fascinating. Good morning, Carol. Glad you're here. Welcome. So, how often do we do that to others? We look at their visible life and assume they've got it all together, everything's great, blah, blah, blah. And it ain't the case. It really isn't the case. And then when things fall apart in their world, we're like, oh, didn't see that coming. You know, the power couple that all of a sudden is getting a divorce. The family where everything looks just so perfect and one of the kids ends up in rehab. That's life. That's what we're all dealing with. It's the good, the bad, and the ugly. It's the whole package. So we need to check ourselves a bit in terms of evaluating other people's lives based on what we can visibly see. That ain't the whole picture. Is not. So, today, your mission, should you choose to accept it, is I want you paying attention to your life. I want you to fully inhabit your life. I want you to be present for what's going on in your life. Really pay attention to it and ask yourself some questions. Am I cool with this? Do I like this? Is this working for me? Am I just going through the motions? Am I truly present for what is? Am I seeing what's good? Yes, we never do know what's going on behind closed doors until the house burns down. Whatever. So, cleaning in front of our own front door. Let's truly dive into our own lives and examine them and ask ourselves, how do I find my path through my life? Not looking to walk someone else's path with them, not looking to criticize their path and how they're walking it. Feet on your path. How is this going for you? What do I like? What do I not like? Etc., etc. Really, and especially the good stuff. If you're feeling that sense of wanderlust, I gotta get the hell out of my life. I gotta run screaming for the hills. Starting to take a look at, what do I like in my life? What is working for me? What's pretty good? What could I tweak? Certainly we can make changes. That change is inevitable, right? But really being present and examining what is. So that's your mission for today. Let's see how it goes. Have an awesome day. We'll see you again tomorrow. Remember, you are capable of far more than you think you are. Bye-bye.